The last text Elizabeth Cowles sent was a single period. Investigators would spend 3 months trying to understand what it meant. When they finally broke down the door to her apartment, the bathroom mirror was shattered. An ink-dark smear trailed across the floor tiles. Resting in the center of the broken glass was a perfectly folded origami flower. Elizabeth was gone. What investigators would later piece together was this. On October 14th, Elizabeth moved to Boston for a postdoctoral fellowship. She was a logical person. She kept 3 tabs open on her browser at all times. She drank her coffee black.
It was a small apartment, but it was close to the lab. I didn't think anything of the layout at the time.
Her new roommate, Cassie, was already there. Cassie was quiet. She was the sort of person who blended in. But there were details, small things.
She smiled a lot, but the smile lasted a half second too long. Her eyes never seemed to blink when she looked at me.
The first sign of wrongness was something Elizabeth rationalized immediately. She found a heavy, antique key on the kitchen counter. It wasn't hers.
Hey, Cassie, is this your key?
Just an old keepsake. Leave it be. Elizabeth left it alone. 2 days later, she found a small, jagged hole near the baseboards in the bathroom. A thick, gray fluid was leaking from it.
I thought it was just old pipes. The building was built in the 70s. I wiped it up with a paper towel. I didn't want to complain to the landlord yet.
But the apartment felt off. It was the kind of thing you explain away at the time. Then, the humming started. A low, vibrating sound coming from inside the walls.
I would stand in the hallway, just listening. It sounded like a woman humming a lullaby. I asked Cassie about it. It's the ventilation system, Liz. You're working too hard. You're stressed.
Elizabeth wanted to believe her. She made a decision that seemed reasonable at the time. She ignored it until she looked in the bathroom mirror.
I was brushing my teeth. I looked up. It wasn't my face. It was a girl, pale, with hollow eyes, standing right behind my shoulder. Her mouth was open. She was humming.
Elizabeth dropped her toothbrush. She spun around. The bathroom was empty. She pressed herself against the wall. She could hear her own pulse.
Cassie! Cassie, come here! What is it? Did you see a bug? There's a face in the mirror. Look!
Cassie stood perfectly still. She looked at the mirror. She looked at Elizabeth. Her smile was fixed.
You had a bad dream, Liz. There's nothing there. It's just your reflection.
Elizabeth didn't sleep that night. When she woke up the next morning, she found a perfectly folded origami flower resting on her pillow. Cassie claimed she didn't put it there.
I started doing research. I didn't want to seem paranoid, but I looked up Cassie's name. I found a local news article from 2 weeks ago.
The article was a missing person report. The photo showed a woman named Cassie, but the woman in the photo was not the woman living in the apartment.
Oh God, who is in my house?
Elizabeth had noticed the details. She just hadn't known what they meant. The stiff posture, the key that opened no doors, the gray fluid.
I went back to the bathroom. The hole in the wall was bigger. It wasn't just fluid leaking out anymore. There were shapes. White, writhing larvae.
The mirror wasn't haunted. The mirror was a two-way observation glass. The humming wasn't a ghost. It was the imposter, standing in the hidden space behind the wall, feeding the parasitic swarm.
Let me out!
That was the last thing the neighbors heard. When police arrived, they found the shattered two-way glass. Behind it was a narrow, dark corridor lined with empty origami flowers. The imposter was never caught. The real Cassie was never found. Elizabeth Cowles remains a missing person. The apartment was cleaned, renovated, and rented out again 3 months later. The new tenant says she loves the place, except for a slight humming in the pipes.